Hey there, and welcome back to Japan Game. I wish. Welcome back to the Japan Game Junk podcast, and this time it is once again Sagamihara, visited on the same date as last time, June the 10th of 2024, back in Sagamihara, Kanagawa. This time at the better than the last store, hard off, Shimokuzawa store. This one is much better than the previous Yabe store. Let's see what I could find on this day, and perhaps any purchases. Let's see. So, first one of note is something very interesting. The Final Fight Guy special CD. So, this is an 8 centimeter, so the small mini-size CD soundtrack for Final Fight Guy. And it's very, very interesting looking, and at 8,500 yen, a little pricey rarity for you to consider. Below that, though, one thing I found interesting in the showcase was a billiards game for MSX. I could only see the label. I forgot the name of the game itself, but I have it. I think it's computer billiards for MSX, which I got in box, complete, for 1,000 yen at the Surugaya store in Omiya, I believe. Here, only the cartridge is 4,000 yen. It's kind of crazy. Kind of overpriced. Anyway, other than that, in the showcase, also there was the original Mega Man X for 3,500 yen cartridge, only also overpriced. In addition, more overpriced cartridges. So, Yogi Bear for the Famicom, 12,000 yen, a bit expensive, but at least it's a bit rare. But Kiki Kai Kai, released as Pocky and Rocky in the West, 9,000 yen. Again, I got this as a pack of 8 games for 1,000 yen at a Kanteidan store in Chiba, as one of my better finds in gaming purchases here. Maybe something that might be a good deal for people who know what it is. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 for the Nintendo 64, 3,000 yen. It used to be about that price pretty much everywhere, a little bit cheaper. I got mine for 100 yen, but, very, very cheap if you could find it. But now that's actually a very good price. It's getting up and up in cost as it's becoming more popular for collectors. Also, Palamedes, very interesting Famicom puzzle game, 4,000 yen cartridge only, although it does look like it's in good condition. And even stranger was above it here for the DS, Touch Kirby. So the first Kirby game for the DS, 1,000 yen, and usually in every hard off in the junk section, you'll find it for 100. And Yokai Watch 3 Sushi version, 1,200 yen also. The Yokai Watch games, almost all, that's for the 3DS, almost all of them, again, 100 yen in the junk buckets of hard off, so a bit much there. An interesting game, this is the, it's the Takeshi's Castle game, but this is the version that you play with the Power Pad, the family training pad. It's a game from Bandai, and so, if you know the Takeshi's Castle game, so it's re-released in the North America, it's Most Extreme Challenge, a wacky, obstacle course game. You can play it yourself on your Famicom with your running mat, the family trainer mat, for 2,000 yen. I was interested, yet I don't have that mat, nor would I want to do exercise with my games, so anyway. Very interesting thing for Windows 95 CD-ROM was a new style communication game, Neko Neko Zoo. So it's a lot of anthropomorphized animation girls with cat ears, and you train them, and they're vaguely cute and kind of sexual. It's something I'd never seen before, and it was kind of a little bit creepy, but worth noting, because you could buy it there if you like such things for 3,000 yen, all completely boxed. Next, a very good value, actually, for those who don't have it, Herzog Zwei, the real-time strategy game for Mega Drive, in the box, 1,500 yen. It's a very fine game, good to have. Good price these days. Less of a good price, King of the Monsters for Mega Drive boxed, 8,000 yen. However, this is unplayed. It is not sealed. Apparently it has been opened, but it claims it has been unused. So for people who care about that thing, then maybe that's a good price, 8,000 yen. Also, I was surprised to see a game I'd never seen before. For the Wonder Swan Color, but coming out after the Swan Crystal was released, so thus it has the Swan Crystal mark on it as well. This is Namco Super Wars. So it's like a turn-based strategy game with Namco as promoting itself, its brand as being quality in the game's title. Maybe Nintendo Wars. It's very similar, I'm sure. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which I got for 300 yen way back when, cartridge only here. It's boxed, but it is 9,000 yen. And that's actually kind of the going rate these days. Much more than the going rate is City Connection, a fun little game. I'm sure that if you're a fan of old games, you've played it, but 5,000 yen with the box, kind of a lot of money for what it should be. Also, a lot of money for what it should be is, it's a game that was being sold used for 3,000 yen, even the special edition version here, Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS. It was everywhere for 3,000 yen for a long time, so I thought I would wait until I could find one for less than that before I bought it. Now, used, it's gone up to 12,000 yen at this store, and honestly, it's hard to find a boxed version of the special edition for less than 10,000 yen now. I have no idea how it got so rare because it was so plentiful before. But yeah, maybe one day I'll find it if I find it for 3,000 yen again, I will get it at that time. Not feeling so bad. No manual, however, backing of the case, and the disc of Pepsi Man for PlayStation 1, 6,000 yen. Only a bit more expensive than what I've seen before with disc only for 4,000 yen. And if I really wanted it, then this is where I would get it. That's the perfect blend of cost saving with junk and having something with it, being the jewel case insert. So 6,000 yen for Pepsi Man. For some reason, they had two PC Engine Duo R systems, both of which complete with the controller and with the AC adapter and the AV cables, but both with the CD-ROM attachment, or not attachment, but the portion of it not working, and both for 30,000 yen. I don't know why it was that exact amount. Also, which was in the display case and very interesting, was it's called Water Coaster. It's a Casio kind of Game & Watch style LCD game, and it folds open. It's kind of an interesting style there for 3,000 yen. I was a little bit tempted by that one, but did not get it in the end. Swan Crystal, one of my deep sad things. When I moved to the Kanto area in 2004, the first time I went to Akihabara after moving in 2004, there was an electronics store selling off Swan Crystal systems, all new in box, because, by then they were kind of obsolete by a few years, or by years, like the games had been canceled. And I believe these were put out in 2002, Swan Crystals. And they had just a huge glut of them and selling them off new in box for 4,000 yen. I bought one for myself. I should have bought all for myself. New in box today, those would be worth gold. I ended up selling mine off to someone on eBay for more than what I paid for it, feeling lucky. But now, of course, I wish I had held on to it, like I do with many of the things back in my pre-real collecting days and my preferring to sell things off days. One thing that was above that was more expensive, but albeit rarer, is the ANA Airlines version of the Game Boy Color. This was only sold in the catalog on the airplane. I'm sure maybe they might have done on their website or whatever if they had that at the time. But yeah, the ANA version of the Game Boy Color, included with everything in box, 60,000 yen. Oh, I'm sorry, the Wonder Swan Crystal I mentioned before that had no box, no instructions, just the unit itself, with mild scratches, was 15,000 yen. But yes, the Game Boy Color ANA version, 60,000 yen. Also, very interestingly, the Hello Kitty Dreamcast pink version, 70,000 yen. Wow. My blue version Hello Kitty Dreamcast, including controller and memory card, I got for much, much less than that. But there you go. A little Hello Kitty there. Something that I was very sad to see because I wish I had it cheaply, but imports and all that. The Polymega base unit. So the unit that you play all your CD-based retro games on there. Here, the boxed version, the base unit, so it didn't even have all the attachments to play all the games. Just the unit and the controller, 100,000 yen. That is a pricey meatball. Something else that was kind of interesting that I was tempted was in the junk section the Super Famicom modem and controller. So you hook up your Super Famicom here to connect to the internet, and it had the controller. Now, many of the modem-based games that were download only are now kind of sought after. Unfortunately, this unit that was the modem and controller only for 1,800 yen did not include the cartridge with the memory unit inside, where you might be lucky to find a downloaded game of some type in there and maybe upload that to the internet and be a hero as people are searching for these games. Many lost media titles are somewhere in Japan on these modem cartridge download things. Anyway, 1,800 yen for a rarity, so an NTT data communication Super Famicom controller with the extra buttons and numbers on it, but yeah, you can't play with that now. And then the last thing to mention was something that I did buy for just a mere 100 yen, the little adapter from HDMI to AV. So you plug in your HDMI cable input, it outputs in RCA component cables, and I got this so that I can play some very modern systems on my 2.5-inch screen portable TV, which I thought would be very interesting. And so you can look forward to that in the future on some of the YouTube channel videos. Anyway, that was some things that were in this better hard-off of Sagamihara compared to the one in the last episode. This is the one again in the Shimokuzawa area. It's part of a shopping center, so after you get your stuff at the hard-off, you can stop in the supermarket and pick up a nice beverage to take for your drive home or whatever. So anyway, yeah, that'll do it. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day, and remember, the junk is out there.